Hi there, my name is Elias Hansen. I'm here at Timber Ridge Camp, right next to the pavilion where we play a ton of games and have a lot of fun. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Camp Meeting. We hope you enjoy.
Praise God. That was good.
And now, for a camp favorite, they're all favorites.
What is there? What's there?
There is a treasure.
There's a treasure?
Treasure.
Well, let's sing about it.
Let's go!
Let's sing about it. Come on.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a treasure.
There is a treasure.
Money can't buy.
Money can't buy.
There is a fountain.
There is a fountain.
Never runs dry.
Never runs dry.
There is a faith.
There is a faith.
It's more than a feeling.
More than a feeling.
There is a question.
There is a question.
That I found the real thing.
That I found the real thing.
And I would rather
Die than live one day without you. Why? Because your love is better than mine. I just won't praise you all of my days. Because your love is better than mine. I just won't praise you all of my days. All of my days.
And there is a place
There is a faith.
where I am accepted.
I am accepted.
And there is a shelter
There is a shelter
where I am protected.
where I am protected.
You are my savior,
You are my savior.
my true companion.
My true companion.
I will pursue you.
I will pursue you.
Reckless abandon.
Reckless abandon. I would rather die than live one day without you. Why? Because your love is better than mine. I just won't praise you all of my days. Because your love is better than mine. I just won't praise you all of my days. All of my days.
All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. A little louder. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you.
Who do we need?
All I need is a miracle. All I need is you.
All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. All your life,
All of my days,
all of my days,
all of my days, all of my days, all of my days, all of my days, because your love is better than life. My lips will praise you all of my days, because your love is better than life. My lips will praise you all of my days, because your love is better than life. My lips will praise you all of my days, all of my Praise God.
praise God. That was awesome.
Good morning, class. We have a new student today with us. If I can have you guys' attention, this is Lane. Everybody say hi, Lane.
Hi.
All right, okay, let's welcome her. I want you guys to make her feel very welcome. Lane, you can go ahead and take that empty seat right there. Okay, class, keep working on your assignments, and I'll be coming around to check on you guys to see if you need help with anything, okay?
Hey, I'm Kinsey.
Hi, I'm Lane. Nice to meet you.
You too. So, what's your story?
My story?
Yeah, like where are you from? What do your parents do? Got any cute brothers?
Oh, that story. Well, I'm from Kansas. My dad's an architect. My mom stays home. And I have an annoying 10-year-old brother who's okay, I guess.
Too bad.
Hey, Kinsey?
Yeah, what's up?
What's with the guys in the back with the duct tape?
That's Biff and Caleb. Kind of weird, huh?
To say the least. What's their deal? Some kind of class project or something?
Well, Biff and Caleb are kind of like class Jesus freaks.
Oh. Could you clarify Jesus freaks for me?
You know, believe in God, bring their Bibles to school, attend Pathfinders. Kind of nuts.
So, they're just normal Christians?
Sure, whatever you say, I guess. I think they're just nuts. I don't know. I don't know much about them, really. I see them around and stuff. They carry their Bibles and wear religious t-shirts and stuff. So yeah, I guess they're Christians. I don't know.
Well, what's with the duct tape then? Is it like a cruel joke or something?
Beats me. All I know is that when they're outside of class, they act like fairly normal kids. But when they're in class and they're not around other Jesus freaks, they put duct tapes on their mouths.
That's crazy.
Yeah, see? Nuts.
Hey, excuse me. Hi. I'm Lee. You're Caleb, right? All right then.
Hey, is that the new book by Pastor Charlie?
Yeah, it is.
Wait, are you a Christian?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, good. Nice to meet you. I'm Caleb. Oh, which you already know. What church do you go to, and how long have you been a Christian?
Well, it's
What's your favorite camp song? Mine's I Just Want to Be a Bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Viv. Meet Lane. She's one of us.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Viv.
Hey. So, guys, what's with the duct tape?
Shh. We don't talk about the tape. In fact, here's a roll. You're gonna need it.
Guys, you're gonna have to do some explaining. I don't need this tape.
Lane, every Christian around here has to wear that. You can't just go around saying whatever you want and talking about Jesus and stuff. I mean, for crying out loud, it's the 21st century. I mean, come on.
Wait, so you're telling me that you guys put this tape on your mouth so you don't say anything about Jesus?
Yeah. We'd probably get in trouble if we said something, so we put the tape over our mouths so we don't say anything that would offend anyone.
Hey guys, I'm gonna need you to keep it down and continue working, okay?
Sorry.
See?
They were awfully chatty. What did they tell you? What did they say? They only talk to people of their kind. Don't tell me, you're a Jesus freak too?
Well, I am a Christian, if that's what you mean.
So where's your duct tape?
I don't need it.
Okay, class, you can go ahead and start putting your things away. We just have a few more minutes until the bell rings. First, I want to bring your attention to our star student for the day, Viv. Thank you so much for creating such an inspirational piece of art. I just want to say thank you for that. Also, Lane, I was wondering if you'd be willing to come up and share a little bit more about yourself.
Sure.
Okay, come right up.
Hi, I'm Lane. I'm from Kansas. I like running and Snapchatting and hanging out with my friends at my church youth group. I'm also really passionate about mission work and just doing ministry with other kids. Oh, this summer, my church went on a mission trip to South America. We built a whole church and spread the gospel to an entire village of people. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. So that's me. I'm pretty easy to talk to and I love meeting new people. So I'm looking forward to meeting some of you soon.
Thank you, Lane. That was very meaningful. Very nice.
Okay.
Hey, Lane, are you crazy? You can't just go around talking about Jesus like that. I mean, what are people gonna think? They're gonna think you're a Jesus freak.
How could sharing my experience with Jesus be a bad thing? Isn't that exactly what he told his disciples to do when he left them in charge?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can't just go around talking like that. I mean, that's
Hey,
too.
listen. Our experience with Jesus is very personal, but it's not something to keep private. We have to share what Jesus is doing in us and around us with the people around us.
I don't know about that. For me, it just sounds too risky.
Risky for who? The only people at risk are the ones who don't know him personally. It's not about me. It's about him.
Well, I mean, I guess just keep that tape. You never know when you might need it.
Hey Elaine, thanks for sharing your missionary experience. That was really cool. I always thought that those type of people were weird missionary types, but you don't seem like that, or like them.
Aw, Kenzie, that's so sweet of you. Hey, do you want to come over after school?
I am new, you know, and I just got this new roll of duct tape. Maybe we can figure out something to do with it.
Awesome. I'd also love to hear more about your trip. That sounds amazing.
Hi guys, welcome to our Director's Minute for the skit called Duct Tape Confessions. I am starting my timer now so we don't go over time. Alright you guys, so in this skit, we had Renee playing a character named Lane who is coming to class and she's a Christian and she wants to share the love of Jesus with her classmates. We also have her friend Kinsey who doesn't really know that much about Jesus because some of her classmates who know Jesus don't want to talk about him. So that would be Caleb and that would also be Biff. So we have quite a variety of different characters in this skit. And some of the things we talked about are confidence in sharing Jesus, faith, and I know that some of those things are very real stuff for us. We've had some really good conversations. So to our audience out there, do you guys have anything to say from your character's perspective, something that you've learned? What has been a takeaway for you guys in the process of all of this?
Can I go ahead and start, guys?
Take it away.
So, it's kind of comical because Biff doesn't say but one line, and that's practically just him saying his name. He's just like, Biff. And the thing is like his like almost like mirror character or buddy character, Caleb, shows how Biff feels. He's like afraid to share his faith in this like public school setting because he doesn't know how people are going to react. He doesn't know if people are going to like not like him. So he shares not to choose Jesus in this kind of like snobby way by wearing this duct tape. And I wouldn't relate to the snobby part, but as a kind of newer Christian, I've only been in the church for a couple, 2-3 years now. I don't really know how to share my faith, and I was a senior in high school when I was like an actual Christian, like finally baptized, and I didn't know how to talk to people about that. I felt awkward bringing it up, and I didn't ever really bring it up outside of like telling people my testimony, and that was inside of a religious setting, so I can definitely relate to their hesitation to share Christ.
Yeah, and I see a lot of heads nodding in the front row. So you guys, what are you guys thinking right now?
I think that, so my character's Lane, and she is honestly such a good example. She is very confident, but she's not mean. And sometimes I think we can get confused with confidence, and there's a word, the word is overbearing, and that word means when it's like too much so that like you're pushing other people down. And Jesus was never like that. I think that the amazing thing about Jesus is that everything was always about the other person. He wasn't sharing the gospel because he wanted to share the gospel. He was sharing the gospel because he loved the person he was talking to, and he wanted the best for them. It's like when Lane says, the only people at risk are the people who don't know him personally. So what she's doing is coming from this place of compassion and not like, oh, I'm trying to be this, so I'm going to do this. She really cares about the people around her. So I really admire this character. She's it's her first day. I'm sure she's nervous, but even in those moments, you see her true character shining, and it's really beautiful.
So I want to interject. We have a lot of people in our audience. We have some people who have been Christians for a long time. We have some people who, like you were saying, that are newer Christians, and we have some people who maybe you've never heard the name Jesus before until you've come and watched this. So what do we tell those people who don't know that much about Jesus? Or maybe Jesus has been described to them in kind of a scary way. What would you guys say to that person right now?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
What I would say to you is, no matter what you think, no matter what you feel, you are loved. Because God is a father, a grandfather. He is just a figure of, greatness in your life, and he loves you so much, and he chooses to love you no matter what you do, because he's created you to be great. He's created you to be loved by him and by the people around you. So if you don't know Jesus, as somebody who didn't, please take my word for it and go out there and learn, because he is so great and he will change your life.
We're so sorry if somebody that says they love Jesus has ever hurt your feelings, and I want to tell you, that isn't Jesus. I promise you, there is somebody out there that knows Jesus, knows who he really is. You are not alone. And I promise you that God will bring that person to meet you. What about people that are a little bit scared for sharing Jesus, and they've known Jesus for a long time? Do you guys have any words of encouragement you would give to that person?
Yeah, so my character was Caleb, who...
Just a second, that's our alarm, but go ahead, I want you to
Okay,
finish your
I'll
thought.
make it quick. So my character was Caleb, who's a little smug and a little apprehensive about sharing Jesus, obviously by the duct tape on his mouth. And I attended public school, so there were a lot of conflicting things with what I believed. And what you can see in Caleb's situation is by choosing not to share Jesus, he kind of shut himself away from a new friendship with Lane. And one thing to remember if you're afraid about sharing Jesus is that Jesus will be with you when you choose to share him. And he will touch the life of the person you're sharing with, and you should not be afraid, because you have the master of the universe on your side. So Caleb missed out on a friendship, and frankly on a friendship with God. And so I encourage you, if you're a little scared, not sure what people will think of you, Jesus loves you, and he wants what is best for others. So I encourage you to share.
Thank you so much, you guys, for this great discussion. And thank you so much for tuning in to our Director's Minutes. Please have a fantastic rest of your day. If you took away anything from this discussion, just remember that you are loved and Jesus is with you. Even if you don't know him, Jesus is with you every step of the way. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys!
We love you.
Oh, hello, boys and girls. I'm excited to be with you again today. We've got some new creatures that we're going to look at. Now, I hope you're not arachnophobic, meaning you're afraid of spiders. I love spiders, and so I have a little pet spider here. This is Rosy. I'm going to get her out here. Rosy is a Mexican red-kneed tarantula. Now, she's just a little spiderling growing up. They get to be about 5-6 inches across, the Mexican red-kneed, so quite a large tarantula. We've just got her here at our Timberidge Nature Center. I don't know if you can see Rosy very well, but I want to tell you a little bit about Mexican red-kneed tarantulas and spiders in general. Now, one of the things that we almost always know about spiders is they have silk glands, allowing them to spin all kinds of silk webs. But it isn't just webs that spiders spin silk with. They use it to reinforce the sides of their tunnels and homes that they make in the ground. They will use silk as a hinge for trap doors. Spiders will even use silk to fly with. Little spiderlings, when they've hatched out and are dispersing all across the web and across the country from where their mom had them, they will spin a little silk it'll catch a string of it in the wind, and it's called ballooning. And little spiderlings have been found as high as 30,000 feet up in the air, ballooning from one place to another, several miles out at sea. Fishermen and sailors have found spiderlings ballooning across the ocean. So they do all kinds of things with silk. In fact, some spiders, instead of spinning a web to catch something, they will spin a little fishing net, and then they will jump out and throw the net over other insects to capture them. Some will make a little fishing line that's sticky, and they will lower it up and down from a tree branch, usually above water, and try to catch little bugs and stuff from the water as it gets tangled up in that little sticky fishing line that they have. Some of them will even make a goop in their mouth that they will then spit this little glob of almost like super glue onto an insect, and it binds it all up and causes it so it can't get away, and they'll capture it that way. They have many different ways that they use silk. In fact, when a spider spins a web, all of the silk in the web isn't the same kind. They do different types. They have some silk that's stronger. They'll make guide wires for their little web. And then they have other pieces of silk that they'll spin out of different spinnerets on there. And that will be a sticky spider web, or maybe it has little fuzzes on it. And they've got special barbs on their feet and stuff to rake out, little combs to rake out that silk to make it sticky and fuzzy, so it captures insects that have little hairs and stuff on them. They have many different ways that they use that silk to capture things. Now it's interesting, you can see the spinnerets on the back of Rosy here. Two little spinnerets. I'll let you get a close-up there of her. She's a beautiful little Mexican red knee. You can imagine a Mexican red knee spider would live where? That's right, down in Mexico. Now, they live a lot here in the United States, too. In the wild, there's not as many of them anymore. They're not doing real well at this point. But in captivity, they're probably one of the most common pet spiders. And that's partly because of their docile nature. They're a very calm spider. They don't tend to bite. So they make a nice pet if you're going to have a pet spider. Now, insects usually have 3 body parts. But you'll notice on the spiders that they have 2. Because the head, on an insect, you'll have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. But on a spider, the head and the thorax have been combined together, and that makes a thessalothorax. So Rosy here kind of has 2 distinct body parts, the thessalothorax and the abdomen. And if you look at Rosy's abdomen up close, you'll see all these little, they're called urticating hairs. And each one of those little hairs has little barbs on it. And so what spiders, especially tarantulas, will do with those urticating hairs is they will take their back legs, they'll rub it on there, get a few little hairs on them, and they'll flick those hairs into the eyes of birds and other things that might be bothering them. And those hairs are very irritating. Most birds and animals that get those hairs in them, it can get infected, and they learn to leave the spiders alone when they have those urticating hairs. It's interesting, in Europe, spiders even have a dance named after them. It's called the tarantella. And the reason they have the tarantella is long ago, when people got bit by tarantulas, old world tarantulas, they thought they would die unless they sweated all the venom, all of the poison out of their systems. So when somebody got bit, they would hold a party and they would throw a dance called the tarantella, where they would try to sweat all of that venom out of their body. Now today we know that when you've been bitten by a snake or a spider or something, you really don't want the venom traveling all through your body like that. But they didn't know any better, so they had the dance, the tarantella. Now, some other interesting things about spiders is their circulatory system inside. You and I have blood vessels that pump blood throughout our body, and we have veins, one set, veins and arteries. I think arteries take the blood out, veins bring the blood back. And interesting though, with spiders, they have what's called an open circulatory system. So they have a few veins and vessels that go out into the main cavities of the body, and then the blood just dumps into the cavity of the body, because the inside of a spider is just mostly a lot of a liquid throughout their body. In fact, in their legs, when a jumping spider and stuff leaps, it's hydraulic pressure. They're pumping up, their heart is pumping the pressure up in that leg, and so it stretches out stiff, and they jump up with hydraulic pressure. Interesting thing about it too is when you look at the blood that you and I have, if you bleed a little, it's usually kind of got a reddish tint to it, or if it's in the body, a bluish tint to it. That is from the iron that helps to transport the hemoglobin, that helps to transport the oxygen through our body to our different cells. Well, spiders have something different. You can think of them as being green-blooded, because instead of iron, they use copper to transport the blood. That's not as efficient as iron is, but it works for them. And so they use copper instead of iron to transport the blood through their body. If you were to look at the front of Rosy, you would see that she's got big old chelsery. And that is where she keeps right in front of her fangs there. The fangs are kind of attached right there to the chelsery. And it looks like gigantic fangs, but the fangs are not hairy like the chelsery. They're just underneath. And so most spiders will capture something, they'll grab it with their hands or however they get a hold of it, and then they will inject with those fangs, and all spiders have fangs. Usually they'll inject some venom or something that will help to paralyze the insect that they're after, that they're trying to eat, or sometimes just kill it altogether depending on how toxic the venom is. And then they will suck out all those body juices out of the insect that they're after. They have injected enzymes and stuff that help break down the inside. Spiders have something else unique about them. They have an exoskeleton, kind of a super suit. Because they don't have bones inside their body like you and I have bones, they have an exoskeleton that gets hard and protects that soft inside of the spider. But because that outer shell is hard, when a spider wants to grow, he has to shed that outer shell. And so when they do that, when they shed and they have a new shell underneath that's soft and it has to harden a little bit, that's called molting. So sometimes you'll come back and you'll see that your pet spider looks like it's dead upside down in its cage. If you look around, I bet you'll find your spider hiding somewhere else as it's hardening its outer shell. That upside down dead spider looking thing is the molt of the spider's old shell. And his new exoskeleton will expand and be a little bigger and allow the spider to grow. They can even regrow some arms and legs and things when they've lost one through the process of molting. That's interesting. Spiders actually make pretty decent mothers, some of them. You'll find that wolf spiders and stuff will gather up a little egg sac and they'll carry it around with them. And if they have their egg sac and you go to take it away from them or bother them, they'll defend that egg sac. They'll go after you. But once you get the egg sac away from the mommy wolf spider and you were to take it away, once you've got it away from her, she'll go back to her activities and just forget all about her egg sac. That kind of reminds me of Jesus. He talks about how a mother hen might forget her chicks. A little wolf spider might forget her little egg sac once you've taken away from her. But Jesus never forgets us. We've been engraven on the palms of his hands. So he remembers us. He knows the problems, the struggles that we face. And we don't have to worry about him forgetting us. Even if our mother or our father forgot us, Jesus doesn't forget us. And he reminds us of that. Mommy spiders, some of them care for their babies in other ways as well. In fact, we usually think of it as a thing that mammals do in nursing their young. But there is a jumping spider that actually nurses its babies. It spins silk protein, like milk, that it feeds to the little baby spiderlings. And so they will stay with their mom, and she protects them in the little tent, brings them food until they get a little bigger and can make it on their own. Now Rosy here, and a lot of spiders have tons of little babies when they have spiders. Rosy, Mexican red-kneed tarantulas, they can have 200 to 400 babies. Some spiders will have 1,500 or 2,000 little spiderlings. Usually when they have big numbers like that, it's because they're so vulnerable at that stage. Everything wants to eat those little spiderlings. And so they have to watch out for them. You'll notice that on spiders, a lot of them have 8 eyes. That isn't every spider. In fact, one of them that you probably know, brown recluses that have those little violin shapes on the back of their body. Brown recluses will actually have 3 sets of eyes, giving them a total of 6 eyes instead of 8 eyes. Now, some of the spiders have better eyes than others, like jumping spiders. They have those great big eyes that they can see you with. And if you were to get out a microscope or magnifying lens, you discover that they have a lot of other little eyes too. They have about 8 eyes. And so they have 2 big ones. Then they have 3 other sets of smaller eyes that they can see 360 degrees around them at any one time. But usually if you get near them, they'll turn and face you with those 2 big eyes that are in the front. They do some neat little things too. They'll build a little pup tent where they'll take care of their babies and stuff in that pup tent and care for them there. I want to show you another spider as well. We're going to put Rosy here back in her little house for now. We gave her a cricket the other day. She loves to eat crickets. We didn't have one for her today. We tried a roach, but she turned her nose up at it. There she goes. Spiders on the bottoms of their feet, they have little hooks. And depending on what kind of a spider it is what kind of hooks they have. They can have multiple little kinds, where some hooks help them to shape the web, combing it out, making it fuzzy. Other types of hooks they have on allow them to walk across that sticky substance in their web and having minimal contact so they don't get caught in the web like the flies and things do. Many times spiders are most often out at night. Most of them are nocturnal. So we're going to go here in just a few minutes as it gets dark. We're going to go outside and do a little spider hunt ourselves. I want to show you one that I caught during the day. We have lots of spiders here at Timber Ridge. In fact, there's more spiders at your house and in your yard and in your property than any other insect out there. They're everywhere. I've gone out at night and found little blue spiders and red spiders and garden spiders and crab spiders and hognose, wolf spiders. And this spider here that we have is a little fishing spider. It's actually a big fishing spider. It's called a dart fishing spider. It's also known as a nursery web spider because they will spin a little web. We'll just take this. I guess that doesn't come all the way off. I'll just lay it down there. Maybe you can see her. I'll get her to move out away from here in a moment. But a nursery web spider, when she has her egg sac, she'll park it in a spot, kind of glue it to a little plant or whatever, a little spot in the corner somewhere, and then she'll spin a nursery web over top of her spiderlings to protect them. Some spiders will even, little water spiders, bell spiders and things, will take and make little water air droplets, and they'll spin a little web under the water, and they'll carry little air droplets down under the water and poke them up in their little spider sack, a little underwater house, and they're known as bell spiders and diving spiders, so they'll live underneath the water where other spiders can't get to them. Now, water spiders, this is a dark water spider, or a type of nursery spider. She was down here at Timber Ridge off of our dock. I'm going to get her to move away from the door here a little bit. Maybe you can see her. Hopefully she doesn't attack me. She's been eating a roach we fed her just a little bit ago. She's about got that roach all consumed. There she goes. I think you can see her a little better. I'll let you get a close-up of her. I don't know why. In my family, my sister is arachnophobic. She's very afraid of spiders. But I grew up just thinking spiders were some of the coolest insects out there. I want you to look at this one. That roach we gave her, she's got it about half consumed. There's not much left of that roach. She's sucking dry, or get dry. I think they're so cool. Isn't that a big spider though? You can see on my hand how large it is. I won't try holding her at the moment because she's busy eating that little spider. I'll set her back here. Come with me. Let's go on a spider hunt, and we'll get some spiders here tonight and see what kind of spiders we can find. I know last night when I was out looking for them, they were all over the side of the house. So let's go and check out some spiders together this evening. And then I want to come back and tell you a story. our nighttime spider hunt. I know I did. There were a lot of neat spiders out there. I want to finish though. We've got other spiders here in Timberidge. If you come and visit us here at camp, we can show you some of the other interesting arachnids and spiders that we have. But I want to finish up with a story of how God uses even little spiders to save our lives and to interact with his human friends. This happened during World War II. There was a U.S. Marine on an island in the South Pacific, and he had gotten separated from his unit with all the smoke and the gunfire and the loud noise and things. He got disoriented, and he lost his group, his buddies there in the jungle. But they were near the enemy, the Japanese, and he could hear them searching the jungle for him. He was next to a little hill, a kind of a cliff area, so he began to scramble up out of the jungle up that cliff, and there were little caves all along this cliff. So this U.S. Marine, he crawled inside of one of those caves. He was a Christian. He believed in God and that God would look after him and care for him. So this Marine, he's there in that cave seeing the Japanese come up the side of this mountain. They know he's in the area, but they just don't know where he's at. So they're hunting, they're looking in and out of the caves for him as they're searching the area. And so he begins to pray. And he begins to talk to God and tell him, you know, God, I love you. I want to continue to follow you and be faithful to you. I'm in a real predicament right now, and I need your help, Lord. Could you please help me? And he's praying that, talking to God. I imagine his prayers are getting even a little more anxious as he's seeing those Japanese come up, climbing up that hill and looking in each cave. You know how when you're in a cave, it's pitch dark when you're looking in the cave. You can't really see anything. But when you're looking out of the cave and there's light, you can see quite a bit. So he's watching them. He can see them, but they can't see him. And all the while that he's praying and they're searching those caves, there's a little spider at the entrance of his cave that's dropping down, lowering a silk rope, climbing up the side, jumping out, another silk strand, climbing back up, dropping down another silk strand. And pretty soon the spider is spinning the inside of the web and just really going to town on this web. He's kind of half distracted. He's talking to God, sort of watching the spider, but mostly watching the Japanese as they come up the hill. And God had sent a spider to save him. Here this soldier thought he needed a brick wall or something powerful to protect him from the Japanese, but God knew he just needed a little spider. So as the Japanese are coming up and they're looking in the caves and going in and searching the caves, when they get to the entrance of this soldier's cave, he's ready to make his last stand and to be captured. And so as they get ready to come into the cave, they start in and they realize right there at the entrance of the cave is this big spider web that spider has been weaving. And they decide, you know, there's no reason to search that cave. Nobody's been in and out of there because that spider web's right there. And so the Japanese moved on up the hill, and God had saved that young soldier's life with the little spider that he sent to spin the web out there at the entrance. So next time you think about spiders, even the ones around your yard and stuff, realize that God even talks to the little spiders, and sometimes he can even use the spiders to save our lives. Well, till next time, I hope you guys have a good afternoon or evening, and I've got some more stories to share with you this week as well.
Hey there, it's Elias again. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Camp Meeting. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you here at TRC. Bye.